Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Sorry, my tripod broke here, so I'm going to kind of rig something here before my new one gets here in a few days. So, today's conversation is regarding vintage Magic the Gathering today. So, no new conversation, no Pokemon. We're not going to... Hold on. MetaZoo. Hello, kitty. Today we're just going to talk about the old Magic. There's been a lot of... interesting developments with the price erosion and price decline on vintage sealed product. So let's all have a conversation together. And so, obviously a month or so ago, we talked about how Weatherlights and Mirage and Visions and Revives, all these boxes and things have been dropping like a brick. On average, I would say the average vintage sealed Magic product is down between 30 and 50% from its highs, which is very substantial. A lot of people claim... blame the economy. Rudy points to PPP loans, because I like to say PP. Other people just say, oh, well, that's just Rudy being mean. And other people say, you know, Magic 30. Once again, I believe that all of these are variables that go into the equation that spits out the price that we have today. I don't think any individual person is correct. I don't think any individual reason is correct. I think Magic 30, money printing, PPP loans, you know, high inflation, of course, interest rates, all of these go into that blend, and ta-da, here we are. So, on eBay, some very large sellers and everything that we all probably know who they are. We're noticing some pretty heavy-hitting Antiquities, Legends boxes, tons of revised, well, not tons, I don't want to say that, a higher amount of revised sealed product, and these items are hitting the market, even beta and unlimited boxes. So, I'm not going to focus much on the beta unlimited because there's not enough liquidity, transparency, and comparables to discuss, but let's focus on, like, Legends, okay? Lost Legends, Dominar United, they put, you know, Wizards, you know, found a bunch of boxes, and they put them inside Dominar United, and to sell the product, had a great release, everything went to hell, everything crashed, Amazon dumps, everything's gone to hell. So, on average, a sealed booster box of Legends at the peak was $50,000, $60,000 a box. A Legends booster box now is online for between $30,000, $35,000, $39,000 from multiple sources for a sealed Legends English booster box. These items are on the open market for sale with no buyers. And the reason they're for sale on the open market with no buyers is because those boxes are no longer worth $30,000, $35,000, or $40,000. In my opinion, an English Legends booster box is probably down to about the 20s at this point. And I would say the Italian sealed Legends box is probably between $5,000 and $10,000. So, which is crazy to think that an English Legends box was $60,000, $65,000, and now Rudy's saying an English Legends box is $25,000. That's about 60 to 70% decline from the all-time high. And these continue to be side effects of poor management. Hasbro, yes, I'm going to blame Magic 30. Yes, I'm going to blame PPP loans and economic conditions. It's a combination of everything. But more importantly, it is a big issue because most people are not willing to buy a $50,000, $60,000 Legend box, even for $35,000 on the open market right now. People are still not willing to buy at $35,000, $40,000. And the ones that are buying, I would probably tell you, I'd probably just sit tight and wait for the price to go lower. That's what I've been doing. I'm interested in these. I'd love to own them. But again, I don't think in the current market, post-Magic 30 and everything we've been through, the values have been repriced, and they are just not worth what they were a few years ago. Now, how is this impacting a lot of people and stores? And, well, you know, obviously heavy bag holders like me on paper, you know, I have substantial financial losses, I guess, from the highs, if we're going to write those down, if we are going to sell them or look into that. But at the same time, a lot of stores who are holding individual cards, sealed boxes of any era, even 2000s era products, you know, even, I mean, the World Wakes and Zendikars, Rise of the Eldrazi, 7th edition, 8th edition, you know, I mean, nothing's really immune. And that's why I keep having these conversations with you all, is that we cannot blame and say, oh, look how bad, I don't know, you know, this Pokemon Scarlet Violet's doing. Look how bad that Flesh and Blood set did. Look how bad the MetaZoo, all of them are at 0. We can't blame anything in particular. Oh, Weiss, that's what I was looking for. You know, the Weiss boxes. You know, Rudy, some of those Weiss boxes were $70, $80. They're like $40 now. And there's even some sellers in the 30s. Well, be careful on those straggler Weiss boxes. You know they've been, you ain't getting a big hit. But Magic, as all CCGs, again, we cannot make fun of Magic. We cannot make fun of Pokemon. We cannot make fun of any particular CCG when the entire market as a whole is drifting together. Okay? Again, when we see vintage sealed Magic boxes down 30 to 50% range on average, those are huge declines. We can't say, well, that Flesh and Blood box is down 30, 50. Of course it is. So is everything else. Now we had some outliers, the Pokemon Sword and Shield, Bunko Babes, and certain Weiss jobless reincarnations and Hololive. There are some particulars that were able to handle the storm, but overall, most items have eroded in value at a similar percentage decline, which is a textbook definition of a bear market. Now if everything was going up except, Weiss, well, then we got to zoom in and say, okay, why are you not performing like everybody else? If MetaZoo was skyrocketing and everything else was tanking, okay, wait a minute, why is there a discrepancy? But when you have an entire market that continues to be blah, usually it's more of a macro and more of a perspective in the customers, collectors, and player base. But today, it's really fascinating to see what many people are saying. Oh, Rudy's trying to push the old prices down so he can buy them. It's interesting to see these older prices go down on the big stuff, and yet, okay, everybody, when they said Legends boxes were 60 grand, and now they're 35 grand on eBay. All these people that said, oh, if Legends ever dropped, I'd back the truck up, Rudy. Okay, well, where are they? What's going on? Did all of a sudden it dropped and everyone's going, ooh, Magic 30? So it's very interesting to see what's happening here, okay? Especially, let's look at revised boxes. Revised boxes peaked at $15,000, $20,000 for a revised booster box or a starter brick. In my opinion, the retail price of a revised box is probably $10,000, $11,000. So what, you net $9,000? But overall, wholesale and stores and buy lists of a lot of stores have just removed vintage Magic products completely. And they don't want to deploy the capital into them. And the ones they have for sale, they're either out of stock, or they have one left, or they're kind of resilient. Because again, these stores who have maybe a Legends box for 40 grand or 50 grand, let's say, they may have purchased that box. That $50,000 Legends box may have been purchased by that store for 40 grand. So they can't take the $50,000 box. Well, they could, but they don't want to take a $50,000 box and drop it to 30 grand to get a buyer when they're into it for 40 and take a $10,000 loss. That's when you get these market anomalies and the market gets kind of gridlocked, and one side saying, oh, you better drop the price. The other side saying, I can't. I'm upside down too much. And some of these stores and people are leverage or lines of credit or credit cards, and they can't just not pay the remaining balance and get clobbered. So it's very complicated, all the forces that are at work right now. But I've been telling you all. We talked about like Visions booster boxes. We talked about Weatherlight booster. Rudy's favorite, Weatherlight, peaking at what, $3,000, $3,500 a box? And Weatherlight boxes barely sell for like $1,000, $1,200 range. We're talking 60, 70% off. And, yeah, I'm still buying them. But the problem is now, what's happening is someone goes, Rudy, I've got 5 Weatherlight boxes and I don't want to get scammed. I'll take a lower price from you. And I'm like, okay, well, a Weatherlight box retails for maybe $1,000, maybe $1,200, $1,300. So you got 5 of them. I don't know. I guess I'll give you $900 a box and I'll cover your shipping and we'll do that. $900 for what? And they get angry. Maybe they get mad. They threaten me, or I'm going to take screenshots and I'm going to tell everybody if you don't raise your price. Whatever threat comes my way. But that's where we're at. I hate to say it, but that's what happens when a market turns and becomes very harsh. We have no easy mode. The tendies and the flipping. I know a lot of you are holding out, waiting for Magic to just bounce back, or waiting for Scarlet Violet, base set, or Mr. P, or Obsidian. I just, are waiting for Weiss, or MetaZoo, Flesh and Blood, waiting for, Rudy, I'm going to wait for the new One Piece. The new set's coming out here in the next week or two. I'm going to wait for it to go to $1,000 a box. Rudy, Sorcery Beta, I know you're involved. I know your patrons everyone's clamoring for Sorcery Beta. We're like 40 days out for your patrons. Sorcery Beta boxes, I don't expect to come out and be $1,000 a box, okay? And I know a lot of you are holding on to that, I don't want to say dream, but maybe that hopium, but I don't think we are going to see anything do very well anytime soon. And again, I'll say my one line in every video. For those of you who are flipping and making all the money in Lorcana, bro, I'm pulling for you. More power to you. But for the rest of you who are saying, oh, I really want Lorcana, Rudy, will you we talk about it more? Will you do it? I'm telling you again, the amount of supply going on TCG Player of Lorcana boxes is increasing. And we have multiple, not one, multiple reprints of the same thing confirmed to be in multiple wave 2, 3, 4, 5 coming. And I'm warning you all to be very careful with it. The speculation and the small amount of people and the movement of money in there, be very careful. That's all I'm saying. And hey, if you're playing around with Lorcana and flipping and making tendies, bro, go for it. I'm proud of you. But just for the rest of us, just be very careful. There's a very, very thin, gentle bubble going on there. And hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Lorcana goes to $5,000 a box and it's the next Welcome to Wraith Alpha Flesh and Blood. Maybe I'm wrong. And, make fun of me and add it to everything else I got wrong in life. But it's beyond my risk and comfort level. So for those of you enjoying it, I'm happy to hear that, but it's not for me. So, back to what's going on with this vintage Magic stuff. It's the same thing with Revise sealed boxes. People, I get contacts all the time from you all watching. Rudy, I got 2 boxes of Revise. I'm looking for 30 grand. And, I go, those are beautiful boxes. I'd love to buy them. I'd love to own them from you. But I'm sorry, you're going to have to just list them on eBay or go to your fancy private back page, Facebook, MySpace thing. And, if you can get 15 grand for your boxes, dude, take it. Take the money and run right now. Well, Rudy, you got to hurry up. And, dude, I already got an offer for $14,000 for my Revise box. Come on, Rudy. You got to match that for me, man. Or come in at $13,500. I'd rather sell to you. I'm sorry. If you got an offer for 14 grand, take the money and run. And, be mad at me because, bro, I'm not even going to give you 10 grand for the Revise box. Depending on the condition and how many boxes you have, I'm going to give you between like 5, maybe 6, 7, 8, between 5 and 9,000 for a Revise sealed box or starter brick, depending on the condition, how many you have, where you're located, blah, blah, blah. And that's the reality. Those boxes, a Revise box, in my opinion, retails for 10, 11,000. I can't pay you 12, 13, 14 for something I think I could sell for 10 or 11. Like, if it sells for 10 or 11, let's assume 10, worst case, or maybe it goes to 9, let's assume 10, let's say it stays at 10. For me to even be comfortable, even if I gave you 80% of an eBay sold, I couldn't do, I'd have to come in at 7, 8,000. And that's assuming it's beautiful looking, or maybe you have multiple, or you got something else special going on here. But so you have this gridlock of people who are frustrated. Maybe they're backed into a corner. They're concerned. They want to sell it, or they want to raise capital because interest rates are high and they're going to go higher, and they want to rather just lock it in and move on from Hasbro and what they're doing post Magic 30 and the confidence and everything happening. This is just where it's at. Nobody knew and nobody expected Magic 30 in a reprint of collector's edition type cards that Mark Rosewater, I said his name properly, and these individuals, they stated in black and white, it's on the internet all over screenshots and things, that he stated would never happen. Well, he lied. It happened. And because of that, the ripple through the system and the amount of money going into old Magic is incredibly low. That money is funneling elsewhere. My money and my personal resources, I am still buying collections. And, I post the videos of collection buying every once in a while. But overall, the amount of vintage Magic buying I'm doing is minimal. Because it's not that I don't want to buy old Magic or sealed Magic. It's I'm not able to pay the prices that these sellers want in 2023. And then they get mad at me because Magic 30 and these morons tank the market. Or, blame me. You got to have a bad guy. I'm okay being the bad guy. But, I have been deploying most of my money in the card world. I've been buying sealed product. Number one sealed product I've been buying is Pokemon. Number 2 in vintage product is going to be single cards of Magic. I'm still buying when I can get deals to go through. Besides that, I am still deploying a lot of resources into vintage Lego. I'm buying, actually 18th, 19th century, Italian, French, kind of Austrian, kind of German artwork from a lot of that kind of 18th, 19th century of original oil paintings. I've been loving that experience. And of course, with high interest rates, been looking at corporate bonds and debt, and of course, high dividend yielding stocks are beaten up. And of course, the S&P 500 whenever there's a dip. And I mean, it's very difficult to tell anyone that Magic the Gathering vintage markets are attractive. Because if someone says, Rudy, if I got 100 grand to buy vintage Magic, should I buy this Legends box for 35 grand? Okay, well, how do you feel if that Legends box goes down to 25 or 30? Or it stays at 35 grand for 5 years? Well, I guess that's bad. I'd rather take my 35 grand and put it and get, rather make 5% interest on cash and a savings account or a CD paying 6, or I don't know, then I'd rather buy it in 5 years for the same price, and I could make my $35,000 in cash. If I can get 5% interest on cash, I can wait 5 years, and every year I get $3,500 in cash, in interest, risk-free. In 5 years, you know how much money that is? That's like, what is that, $17,000 in interest in 5 years? So essentially, you can get half the price of a box of Legends in interest by just waiting 5 years at 5%. And that's where it gets, it's like, if you do the math, I mean, you can go I think it's about 8 years right now, and the interest on $35,000 at 5-6% will double if you compound it. And if that's the case, well, in 5 years, if that Magic box is going to be the same price, I could wait 5 years and take the interest and get the box for free. That's what's happening. The wealthier, more financially astute individuals are so disgusted with Hasbro Wizard, post-Magic 30, Project Fuck You Booster Fun, it is just continuing to cause resources and collectors to avoid that category. It doesn't mean it's going to zero. It doesn't mean the market can't change, which I'm hoping it does, and I believe it will, but I believe the market's going to take a lot longer to turn in Magic than any of you all want to hear. I think it's going to be years. We are in for a period of like a cold, dark ages of Magic with Project Booster Fun, ripping and shredding every modern and standard card. If any card is made and goes up in value, it will get annihilated, and you will lose your money buying the singles you want. I assure you, those game pieces, they got your back, everybody. All of you out there, those game pieces, Wizards will make sure the game pieces remain cheap. But don't forget, this is the same company that needs expensive items so that they can sell premium priced products. We have a very strange ecosystem happening right now. So that's what's happening, okay? I am trying to buy vintage products and sealed products, but there is such an awkward gridlock because so many people who bought into the market in the last 24 months are upside down so much they are not willing to they are not willing to accept the decline in price and lower the price. Let me give you some examples and I'll end the video today. I had actually a patron sent me a message, and this individual had oh god, what boxes? He had 3 boxes. They were all the same. He had, I think it was it Visions? No. I think it was Weatherlight. I had one patron had like 3, let's just say Weatherlight. He had 3 boxes, let's call it Weatherlight. And he was saying, hey, I know they're not worth $3,000 a box anymore. I know the market's down, but Rudy, will you do $1,800 or $1,900 a box for Weatherlight? And it may have been Visions. Let's just say Weatherlight. And I said, I'm sorry, I'd love to buy these from you. I'd love to give you a safe transaction, but I can't pay that. Well, Rudy, I know, but you don't care. You're just going to sit on them. Okay, but I'd rather buy the same thing from other people cheaper. And unfortunately, with all due respect, take the boxes of Weatherlight, put them on eBay, auction them off, send me the link, and I will bid on them. Unfortunately, I can already tell you how that's going to unfold. Those boxes of Weatherlight are probably going to end if you put 3 boxes of Weatherlight on eBay, starting at $1. First of all, I'll bid $3,000 on it right now. I'll bid $3 grand right on it. I'll help you out. Past that, you're on your own. And in my opinion, I don't even think it'll end for $3,000. I don't think anybody will outbid me. I don't think there's going to be much of a challenge on it because the market knows where it is right now. Do not underestimate the people who do have the resources and how cautious and the anger, emotion, and perspective they have towards Hasbro Wizards. And because of that, this is where we're at. And unfortunately, I tell those individuals, if you're willing to come down in price, I'd love to do a deal. I'd love to buy them from you. Give you a nice, safe transaction. But otherwise, I think selling on eBay is going to be the best direction for you. I had another individual, had, I think it was Revise. I think it was Revise booster boxes. I think he had like 4 of them or something. It was a lot. And he tried contacting some of the large stores, and 2 of the large stores wouldn't buy it at all. I don't know, maybe like Channel Snowball or Moon City Games. I think he said, like Card Castle Kingdom offered to buy a portion of them, or if you want all of them, like the price was real low, like it was like $5,000 a box or something. I can't remember who was who, so don't quote me. And I think he was just like, dude, are these? And this individual was not a page, just an email from you all, and he was like, Rudy, $5,000 a Revise box. I've got like 4. That's $20,000. And I said, well, I think that's a little low because they were in beautiful condition. Like mint clean, definitely authentic. I could tell by the wrapping and the details and the credentials and the small things. And I told him, I said, look, I'd love to buy those for, instead of $5,000 a box, those are in perfect mint. I'll probably come to $6,000, $7,000 a box. I can beat it by about 20%. And he was still very upset. Like, dude, I paid like $13,000 a box. I'm into this for like $53,000. Even if you beat the buy list by 20%. I can't lose 20-something grand. And I'm like, then I think you should wait. I think you should sit on the product and wait 5+ years. And of course, he said, I can't wait that long. I need the money. I said, well, then put it on eBay. Auction 1 box off at a time. I'll bid on your listing. And this is what's been happening. These are the conversations that have been going on. And wow, a lot of the newer products are actually pretty stable and doing okay. I mean, looking at March of the Machine, looking at Phyrexia, looking at Kamigawa, look, even Baldur's Gate, Draft and Set have been doing fine. Even the collector boxes are back to what, 160s, 170s with tax? I mean, they're crawling their way. It's like baby steps. It's not great, but a lot of these Draft and Sets are doing okay. But again, it's tough for everyone to accept where it is. It's tough to just accept everything, but this is what's happening, folks. And it is what it is. And I'm sorry to tell you all, anti-Pump Rudy, Pump and dump your ex, I don't think the market is going to skyrocket and turn anytime soon. You need to buckle down, Buttercup. You need to hold on to what you have, and you need to wait many years. And I do think the product will drift up in price. Hopefully it's sooner, but I think it's going to take many years. If you're uncertain, put on eBay, auction off. Hey, send me the link. If I want, I'll bid on it for you. I'll even try to buy it, but I'm not going to bid a lot. I'm not going to, if I win it, that's great, but I'll pay for it and take it. But it's just, the market is having a hard time because sellers don't want to lower the price because it puts them upside down too much. And nobody likes to lose money. So that's where we're at, folks. It is what it is. It is what it is, right? It sucks because a lot of the messages I've been getting have not been from individuals like you all. I'd say 30-40% of the emails have been from stores. And I had, in these store messages that I'm getting are just so fucking depressing, man. Like some of these store messages I get from some of you all out there, I had another individual send me a picture of his store in the back room. I'm not going to give names or cause problems or anything, but he sent me a store picture of the display case and everything in the slat walls and sent me a picture of his back room where he has cases of collector's draft set, commander, and all this stuff. And unfortunately, he got crushed on those Jumpstart sets. Dominaria Jumpstart. What was that other newer Jumpstart? These stupid Jumpstarts for the sets. He lost thousands. It's got like 50, 60 boxes of each Jumpstart. He couldn't sell before he could cut it off in time. And, he made a comment about how, it's him and his significant other now. and he laid off the 2 or 3 employees to cut labor costs. And they're only opening the store a couple days a week to reduce utilities and labor and things. And, you know, I see this stuff, and then I see Secret Lair alert, and I see the Amazon dumps, and I see this stuff. And it's just, I'm genuinely blown away that a company that's multi-billion dollars, that owns the rights to Magic the Gathering, and it's become this distorted of just annihilating these LGSs. Annihilating them. Just destroying these LGSs. And like, not only do they not care at the top, I don't even think they're aware, and I don't even think they even blink or feel the speed bumps of all these stores and people who are just eroding and dissolving and collapsing. I don't even know why anybody would consider opening a brick and mortar LGS and carry Magic the Gathering. Like, I'm sorry, but you have to be the dumbest mofo, one of the biggest Timmies of modern history, to think that you're going to open a business and sell Magic the Gathering as a new business in 2023. And I can't go into like distribution and like how many accounts are open and closed for privacy stuff and things that shouldn't be discussed, but let's just say the amount of new accounts opening and selling Wizards WPN stores and products, and the amount of restocks that stores are buying Magic from distribution. If I had to put a needle on low to high, the needle would be pegged at all-time low, and it would be stuck at the bottom. Like, I can't, this gets a little wishy-washy, but I'm gonna end the video here. But even distributors don't like restock positions of draft and set in Commander. Like, they don't even, distribution isn't even holding positions like they used to. Like, the behavioral shift of Project Booster Fuck You Fun has been so devastating. It's going to take years to recalibrate. And even then, we need a change of leadership. We need major communication and changes, and they will never give that to us. It's never going to happen. I think I'm done with this video. It's very sad. Because, you know, not everybody has a lot of money that can just sit in a warehouse like me and kind of weather the storm. These stores and LGSs are ran by real people, real families, real jobs, and real customers, and real people who come in to play the game with their game pieces. And the direction that things are on is unsustainable. And these game pieces in these stores are not going to exist. They will be in the relics of Sears and Kmart's and Blockbusters. And, you know, we are going on a path where these LGSs, you know, it's got to change, man. It's got to change. And I don't think it's going to change fast enough. I think we'll get the change, but it's going to be so slow and destructive. It's going to be painful. And I don't think most of you watching are still going to be into this hobby by the time it happens. Most of the viewers watching are going to be out of the hobby, and they're going to say, you know, I used to watch that Rudy guy on YouTube when I was into cards. I wonder whatever happened to him. That's going to be kind of a big thing with a lot of it. And then the new blood will come in. Patrons will close their accounts. Someone will sneak in and take their slot. Stores will close. A young person comes in and says, I can do a better job, and reopen the LGS. And the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. No penis. Just end the video.